was a test week.
Oh yeah, lots of tests.
Yeah, a little bit.
What kind of, you've already done like, did you do all your theory and stuff?
Yeah. So looking for theory, just trumpet playing exam.
Oh man.
And
who's the teacher for the trumpet one?
Dr. Amanda Pippin.
Dr. Pippin?
Dr. Pippin.
Dr. P.
Mhm.
And so you have like, they switch off, like she'll teach like a little bit and then someone else teaches something else, or how does it work?
I'm not too sure.
She's there the whole semester?
Yeah, she's there the whole. Oh well, I think someone comes in for sort of a master class for horn. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's later in the semester. I don't know if it's just a one-time.
So it's trumpet, horn, trombone.
Euphonium, tuba.
So that's the whole class.
Mhm. Yeah.
So brass.
Brass. It's fun.
What mouthpieces do you use? You have to get your own?
No, they provide them. Obviously, we have to wash them, make sure nothing gross is on them. But apparently they're good for beginners. That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
They just look like cups. But the French horn ones are like more shaped out. Well, what's the word for that? Conical, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it hard to produce that sound?
It's
yeah, do that kind of stuff?
yeah, it's so hard. I think because I've been practicing since we got our instruments, and so I think my mouth is getting used to doing that. It's just the air supply, because I'm not used to.
Anybody pass out?
I think I might have.
That's funny.
It's a good thing no one has.
One of my first students here, he took secondary lessons in trumpet, and so he got to a good level. I mean, just like playing some Baroque sonatas and stuff. He liked it a lot. So when you get to a certain level, and if you have time, and it's nice to just take some secondary lessons in another instrument. The benefits of that, of course, is learning that instrument, but also learning a different teaching style. Because as a student who is going to go into education, getting exposure to other teaching styles or other teachers is a good idea. Because we learn, it's nice to have a couple of main teachers, but if you take a different instrument with someone else, it's interesting what you can learn. And just the way I learn from other performers, like say an oboe player or piano player or singer, can influence how I play too. So same with teaching. So just something to think about. Okay, so last week we were discussing in studio about how this kind of thing is very helpful. But let's talk about a routine. And now that we're kind of gathering more and more information, we could have a real good routine from what we know. And that routine is just a daily routine. Another thing to think about is your minimum daily practice, what you're putting into it. And that's like a goal, or maybe more like a deadline. It's like, hey, it's 7 p.m. and I haven't practiced yet. So give yourself that deadline, a daily one, of a bottom line of just like, I'm going to practice for sure this much, no questions asked. And so decide what that is. The other thing is we need to feel that we are making progress, and making a chart is a good idea. So for example, say you could play a scale at 42 per, beats per minute, and you could do all of the acceleration exercises. Then maybe like in a month you're at 50. I mean, that is proving to you that you have made progress. When you see a chart, like say when people lose weight, they have their weight and then it goes down, down, and down, and up, and down, and like this. And so that helps us to visualize it. Some people really are inspired by that, by just seeing that, even like, oh, I lost 1 pound, now it's 2 pounds. And over like a month, you'll see you lost maybe 10 pounds. And it helps you understand, like, I'm doing something right. Then Same thing with like raising money. When someone has a fundraiser, they have like this chart that says, we just need a little bit more, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like $200 shy of $10,000, you really feel like, wow, we're almost there. Come on, guys, And so this kind of thing helps the group, helps us individually.
Mm-hmm.
So chart your progress, put some real numbers on there, and don't just be random. It's like, well, I think I'm this, I'm thinking that. No, well, see what you can do. Play your etude and see if you can play from beginning to end without stopping, and see what your tempo is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good idea. Same with the scales. Okay, so now place your bow, and this is the routine. I'm going to just go through. We're going to do a lot of talking, but some of the things you've already done. Place your bow in the middle of the bow on the C string on the bridge. Now, if you're more to the middle of the bow. Yeah. Now place the bow where it touches the cello. Yeah, over here on this side. There you go. Sit up. That's good. Now, if the bow is touching on the C bout here, you're probably too crooked.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too much in the middle, also you're too crooked. Mm-hmm. You want to be right above that C bout, a little closer to the bottom. There you go. So that it's hard to tell from above, but that helps you approximate what parallel to the bridge means and perpendicular to the string. Then go up and forward, so you go to the G and D string. Now you're on the A string and touch the cello on the other side on the A string. Similarly, if you're touching the C bout, you're crooked, see?
Mm-hmm.
If you're too far that way, you're crooked too. So right above the C bout.
Mm-hmm.
Now just go back and forth, find that arc of the bridge, stretch out your arm, nice and easy. Try not to go too far forward or too far back, because you're also going to be crooked. Just find that arc and stick to it. There you go. So you do that a few times. Good. Now let's do what I call the Izai string crossing, Y-S-A-Y-E. And so remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, slow. It's going to take us 2 minutes with the thing on the bridge, right? So it's really simple. Good way to warm up. Now go to the C string at the frog. Place your weight in there. Pull the string right and left without making a noise. And then pop. Now push down here, right and left. On the D string. Pop. And when you pop, play fast. Good. Now A string. So that was very good. Sometimes you could move a little bit. We're doing it slow, but some days you may do it faster. Mm-hmm. Now let's go to those handouts that I gave you guys on Thursday.
Oh, I lost them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's like the string crossing handouts.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So now, with that same feeling, except now more continuous, really feel like you're grabbing the string and having this popping sound. Continue. Go. Right there, like, see, with the screw here, pretend you're making like a text bubble where it goes like this, like an elliptical circle. So let's see. So smooth corners, right? No rough edges. So no like. Right? Try that one again from D to G. Go. Now D. play near the frog and near the tip when you play the half bow. See? The arm is still doing, leading with the arm in circles. Ready, go. Watch my forearm. Ready? Start from the tip. Ready? Go. Forearm from the elbow. Keep your elbow high. Watch this. Sorry. Start from the C. Elbow higher. Go. So this is like a little pinch. See? Feel like the weight's over here. Scoop. Yeah, it's better. Now remember, after that pinch, after that weight is applied there, you release. Don't keep the weight in there. Look. Just like. Another way to think about these bows are pizzicato bows. When you pizzicato, you pluck, you let it go. So the plucking is kind of like us articulating. Of course, we could sustain that, say if we want to do this. Right, I'm sustaining by pushing my bow right or left. If I let go of the pressure too much, or the sensation of the bow on the string, it does this. Right, but I don't get a good tone. So let your ear be your guide, and then of course the music will guide you if it's a diminuendo, crescendo, etc. You just follow your heart. Okay, next. Now we're pretty warmed up with our right hand. Let's do a couple other ones. Do you see the next page where it has like this one? Right in the middle. These are like martelé bow strokes, but like in one bow, like a staccato bow stroke. And be a little strict, more strict. See, watch. Ready, go. Want to go through some and go to the last or second to last page. Remember that one is this over 3 strings.
Yeah.
So just grab those 3 strings. See, push the weight down on like on the D string. So get your arm at the D string level and watch this. It's kind of like you set the spring and you let go. Go. Now up bow. Set it. Yeah, the up bow needs to be as strong as the down bow. No, your up bow is too cute. You're like. Don't worry about ripping the strings apart. You won't. Good. So now, ready, go. Next one. Watch my elbow. Let it swing as if it's going like kind of like this, like a smiley face, a long smiley face. So my elbow. Swing your arms. 1, 2, ready, go. More pressure, see? Push it down. More sound. How about this fast? In triplets. Up, 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 up. About 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Okay, good. Now get this note here. G. And just play like 16ths with one note. More weight. More in the middle. Let it bounce, see? The same direction that we did just before, but now on one string. Ready, go. Near the bridge. Up right in the middle. Middle. Watch. See, remember you dropped it. Down. You can't even like this. Think about going down. Yeah, you're stiff in your fingers. And it is your thumb, see? It's your thumb that has to move. Ready? Go. Look, get closer to the frog. So right there is it seems manageable, right? So you want to inch closer and closer to the middle. So start here and then go towards the middle. Ready? So go back to this. Go. Okay, keep doing that, and then merge into one note like this, this G. So. Get your fourth finger ready. Just keep it down. Ready, but hit 3 strings. Go. Oboe. So you did kind of slow down, though. You can do it again and not slow down. Up, 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 ready, go. Ready. Closer to the bridge. So, usually our up bows are not good. They're not as good as the up down bows. So one way to practice that is very simple. Just do everything opposite bowing. So feel the beat is like up, down, instead of down, up, down, up.
Okay.
So try it once, like straight up bow, ready, set, go. But accent, up, 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 up. Kick it. bad way. It's not the blues.
Mm-hmm.
So work on it. This little thing that we're doing here is actually a good idea for spiccato and off the string bow strokes. It's a very easy. This is the thing I was helping Adrian with the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So now, moving on. What's next? Harmonics. Now this is not written down, so pay attention.
Okay.
So let's go to the first position, and I want you to play all the fourth finger harmonics in first position like this. My finger is curved, and I'm on the inside of the string each time. Ready? Go. Only one finger at a time. Now stay there, play third finger, and go back across on third finger. Now stay there and go back across on second finger. Go play by the bridge, please. Good. Now, we're going to add in the first finger in just a second. Go back to the C string and follow my instructions and play 4, 2, 3, 2 on a C string like this. And then we'll stop. Your third finger is in the wrong place. By the bridge, please. By the bridge, your third finger is still in the wrong place. So move it. Where should it go? It's too close to second. It's too close to the fourth finger. What it is, I think. Mm-hmm. Stretch it. Stretch it. Again. Also, play just one finger at a time. Yeah. Now, put your fourth finger on a G string. Play that. Now play play those two fingers back to back again. Second finger on a C string, fourth finger on a G. Now, good. Now play second finger on the G string. Stop. Now first, keep that there. Don't move your second finger. Put your first finger on the C string. This note should match exactly second finger on the G string. Go. Now here's another cool thing. Don't move, but put fourth finger on the D string. Stretch, stretch, go. Play all three back to back. This is roughly, approximately, where your finger should be in first position. Mm-hmm. Now go to the G string and let's do 4, 3, 2 on the G string. G string. Bridge. Now 4 on the D string. So what have you found out about where your second and fourth finger are in relationship to each other?
They're exactly related.
No, what is your mistake?
Oh, I'm too close.
Yes. So I should rephrase it. What is your tendency?
Tend to be flat.
Yeah, and close together.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that from? Did you play a smaller cello in high school?
No.
Well, it's probably just from you just not stretching enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, second finger on the D string. Now stay there with the second finger, and first finger on the G string should be the same note. Now fourth finger stretch on the A string. Now back to back to back, all three. Now freeze right there, don't move. Try to relax it even though get on the inside of the string. Feel like you're hanging there even though you're playing harmonics. Your fourth finger needs to curve a little bit more. Excellent. And on the inside of the string. When the harmonics are mirrored from the middle harmonic here to the bridge and from the middle harmonic to the nut. So as you go to the bridge from the middle, the harmonics get higher and higher and higher in pitch. The same from here to there, it gets higher and higher. Mm-hmm. So if you're higher than the first finger should be it's going to sound higher. If you're lower, it's going to sound lower. So as you approach it, try to feel where that is, whether you're low or high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, fourth finger on the D string. Let's do it this way. D string. D string. One finger at a time. Now fourth finger, A string. Now second finger, A string. First finger, D string. D string. Stretch. Stretch. Match it with second finger on the A string. Yeah. Now, on the A string, we don't have an extra string above it to compare it to. So what we do is we do 4, 3, and then 2 twice, and then 1 twice. See if you can do it. Ready? See, but take a note where your first finger is. It's not close to the second finger. It's a little bit separated from the second finger. Back. First finger is separated. More. Back. Yeah. So, why is that? Think about it.
The further up you get, the smaller the intervals, so it needs to be a little bit wider here. Since it's
So say that again in English. Incorrect English. I understand what you're saying, because I think that way too. But I often have to monitor what I say, because I'm always saying like the opposite and actually making it more complicated. Make it simple.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said, just reverse what you said, but make it simple. What you really want to say is, as you approach the nut, closer to the nut, intervals are
bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you want to say.
Okay.
And that's why our first finger can't be too close, because it's going to be sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a mistake a lot of people make, is that, for example, they go from here, go to fourth position, and keep the same intervals.
Mm-hmm.
But as you go to the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
they're smaller, right? So we learned this early on, but when we're back here, we forget that, wait a minute, when you go to half position, there's nothing half about it. It's actually wide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like actually the biggest position in terms of half steps. It's like really wide. So anyway, it's not that difficult. It's just like, okay, yeah. It's like one of those things you learn in life. You just say, okay, yeah, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's physics. Unless you get a smaller cello, you know, but even on a smaller cello, the ratio of things will be the same, except smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now 2, and then by the bridge. Why by the bridge? Well, the harmonics will sound better at the bridge. Just another rule of life.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. But it's too far, and you need to play one finger at a time. Stretch back, stretch back. You're too close to fourth finger. Awesome, you got it. Now, the first 3 intervals, 4, 3, 2, that's a triad of that scale, that string. So A triad, A, C sharp, E. But then the first finger is it doesn't make the arpeggio complete with the top A. It's actually a B, right? So above E is a 5th. So in other words, it sounds kind of like this. Same thing here. You know that song? By the Carpenters?
I'm not very cultured.
Oh, it's a good song. You've probably heard it in some TV show like Random, because it's a very popular song. Anyway, the why play the harmonics like this? There are 2 reasons why. One, you notice that they sound better by the bridge. They also don't sound better if you put more weight in it. Like if you put more weight, it doesn't sound good. So by playing by the bridge, it helps us understand how to play by the bridge. Like, it gives us this awareness, gives us another way to practice by the bridge. 2, by not pressing so hard, but you can't be too light either. You actually find the balance between the weight, a balanced weight on the string, the distance to the bridge, and the bow speed. In other words, you're working out the friction between the bow and the string, and how you're rubbing the bow on the string, and how you're producing the sound. Because really, it's about the friction. People talk about weight, but there's bow speed and the distance to the bridge. All this is producing friction to help the string, ignite, to make it speak. And so, oftentimes we over press. Sometimes we have too much bow speed. Oftentimes you're too close to the fingerboard. So playing with harmonics helps us to find that balance. If I play a harmonic, if I play this note, for example, if I press really hard, you may hear some noise, but you could be fooled into thinking it's a good sound. Right? Whereas if I do that with a harmonic, now I'm going to just play harmonic and do the same thing with the right side. Nothing. Noise. So it's kind of like revealing what's underneath the sound at the bass. I'm actually over pressing. So watch what happens when I try to play a good forte sound with harmonic. Obviously I'm pressing too hard, so I'm going to back off on that. That's pretty loud. Sorry, I slipped a little bit at the end. But you hear how loud that was? But what was the difference? I had more note. The ringing, the cello was shaking, it was ringing. And it was right by the bridge too. So these harmonic exercises help us to understand how to do that. Because often when we play long tones, which is a traditional way of practicing near the bridge, it's kind of hard. It was hard the concept is hard to grasp. And our teachers say, play by the bridge. And you do, and all this noise comes out. Playing harmonic long tones is actually a shortcut. No, you're not cheating. It's actually easier to figure out how to do it. And it also has benefits for the left hand. By playing harmonics, you find out approximately where your fingers should go in the first 4 positions. It's very useful. Is it exactly the correct pitch? No, but it's approximate. And it's very useful just to understand where all these notes are. Sometimes the harmonic matches the string, matches the placement of your stop finger. For example, a harmonic, right, just an octave higher. Here's an F sharp, but it's a B, right? Here's an E, but there's an A there. Here's an E, B, F sharp, C sharp, right? So sometimes it matches, but even then when it matches, if you check it with a tuner, it's a little bit flat. So now, but it does help us approximate where your fingers go. It helps us especially to figure out extensions in the second and third and fourth positions. So play, for example, instead of fourth finger on that on the D string, play your second finger there. Place your second finger. No, move up, shift. Yeah. Now play that. No. Okay. So now watch this. Play 4, 2, 4, 1. Ready? Like this. On the inside of the string. Go. No. You stretched. No stretching. Are you in the right place? No, right? Because it's like an old radio station. Have you ever turned the dial for an old radio station? It's like every once in a while it's like it's like and you hear some weird language you never heard of, But that's with harmonics, so you have to be really precise. So if you hear airy sound, scratchy sound, you're not in the right place either. There's like a little dimple in the string where your finger goes. Ready? Second position. Now play. So. Now you can extend. 2, 4, 1, 2, extend. Go. Extend. Extend. You're not extending. Where do you extend from? Yeah. Go. Make sure when you lift your second finger, it doesn't get shorter, this extension. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes people do this. You're actually shortening that. Mm-hmm. Try it again. One finger at a time. Now do that whole thing again. First finger, no extension. Go. I think your first finger is too far away. Mm-hmm. One finger at a time, please. Next, extend. Yeah. Now can you play this? Now extend. See what happened to your second finger? Mm-hmm. You close. Do it again. Are you pushing on your thumb? Watch. Relax your thumb. Because you're getting stuck by pushing against your thumb. So one thing's for sure. The open G string should be ringing. Ready? Go. It's flat. Go. Again. Go. So see how you can use these harmonics to help you find that position. So it's approximate, but when you check it with the real notes or the stop notes, then you're able to understand, oh, okay, this is what I need to be working on. Mm-hmm. Right there, we ran into an exception. Sometimes the harmonics are approximate, but like you're sort of on the harmonic, but you notice that the sound had like something caught in his throat, right? A little scratchy. So you have to really work on getting a pure sound with the harmonics. Mm-hmm. Okay, so after this, you're ready. Eventually what happens, you're going to have like, you know, there are other harmonics here that all the way up to the fourth position. Mm-hmm. Almost every note of here has a really clear harmonic. So. So it's approximate where your finger should go. Mm-hmm. All right, now we add a scale. Mm-hmm. So notice that let's review. We did the thing on the bridge, and we went across. That's gonna take 2 minutes, maybe. Mm-hmm. Then we did the tugging at the string just to get warmed up. Right. You can even just cut it down. Just do this. Those exercises on open strings. All of this, including what we did in the beginning, with the string crossings, and with the bridge, the string crossings, and then this thing called Fritz Mag, M-A double G, I guess. I think it's 2 G's. That's going to take 10 minutes maybe. And you pick and choose. You don't do all of them. You just do some of them like we did. I recommend that you do the first 2, and then you do some with staccato, and then you do that last one. And you don't do that forever, you know. Just try to figure it out. Like, you know, play it. You'll get comfortable with it. You'll start to realize, oh, if I do this, oh, if I do, you know, like, just like have some moment of self-discovery there. And then we did harmonics, and even if you don't remember all the harmonics we did, just did the 4/4, 3/3, 2/2. Just figure it out here. Go to fourth position and just do all the 1s and the 3s, for example. Slowly, of course, and it's also a way to help your tone. And now that could take 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. Pretty soon now it's like 15 minutes of practice. You're ready to go to play a scale. Actually, one more thing we forgot: ringing tones. So let's play. Ready? 4th finger, follow me. Then go. No pressure, just somewhere up there. Let's do G minor. Ready? And melodic minor. Go. Play first finger. First finger. Now, A should ring open A. Play and make open A string ring. Higher. We should be ringing wildly. Yeah. Yeah, good. Hear that? What about B flat? What are you supposed to hear? Let's find out. Stop. A little bit higher. Stop. Do you hear a high D? Don't touch the D string so it could ring. Stop. You want it. The reason why I say to stop is you want to hear the ringing. You hear the high D? There it is. Hear that? So now play the beginning of this scale. That's flat. Higher. Again, go. Hear the difference? Now let's move on. Ready, go. F sharp. Higher. F sharp. Lower. Up-o. Ready, go. So then B flat again. Next one. Sorry, I just did a little Harry Potter kind of thing. Okay, now, how does it sound like to you when you play in tune?
Fool.
What is cool about it? What do you notice?
I meant like fool. Like
Full. What's full about it? Like, is more sound?
Yeah.
Playing loud is, some people would just make a lot of noise. But people who play really in tune play louder because what you're feeling, like the fullness of the sound, is like wow. Of course, if you have a whole orchestra playing in tune, that's even more amazing. It's like you have 100 people playing in tune, and it's just gonna be like, whoa, that's awesome. I didn't get to hear the Berlin Philharmonic play, but my friends who have heard them play, you know, the people that play in that group are really high level. In fact, in America, most of the time, they have auditions like this. The first round and second round, you play a little bit of your concerto and you play a lot of excerpts, like orchestra pieces. And then the third round, you play more excerpts and a little bit more of your solo, but it's really focused on excerpts. In the Berlin Philharmonic, the first round is just 2 whole concertos. And like practically the whole orchestra is listening to you. And there's no screen, and just like, oh, how are you doing? Mr. Sines, please play. And you would play. I never auditioned, but my friend told me about it. And you play, and then you play a lot. It's like they want to hear how you play. And then later they'll give you some excerpts like, hey, why don't you read this, see how you do. They do the excerpts later. But they want to know that you're a great player. Like you could play a solo with the orchestra if you had to. And so the string section and everybody in the winds, they're all like amazing. And they also, most of the wind players have like lives outside of the orchestra as like soloists. Anyway, I say that because my friend who heard him play said, you know, not only did they play well in every dynamic, but what really impressed him was like how softly they can play. They're like so soft and beautiful. He never understand how they did that. And we asked one of the his friends who plays violin in the orchestra. I asked him actually. I was like, "How does it feel to play in the Berlin Philharmonic?" And he said, "You know, it's like a wave. You just hop on the wave. You just ride on the wave. It just join the wave." He said, I was like, "Wow, it's cool." And sometimes that happens when you play with really good people in chamber music. It's like you just play together. It's like you don't have to worry. Just play with them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's at a certain level, and you're just having a good time. So, anyway, does she want to come in? I think maybe we should. We have our time is up. So we didn't get to any rep, but we're really working on your sound and routine.
Mm-hmm.
Were you doing Popper 11?
Mm-hmm.
So you can play the whole thing?
Slowly.
Okay, so next week play the whole thing for me. I want you to pick, see if you can do 50 beats per minute.
Okay.
If you can go faster, that's great.
Okay.
And I want you to chart your progress this week. Like, you know, I want you to make a little chart of all your scales,
Mm-hmm.
and then check them off as you can play them at 2 slurs by memory without messing up.
Okay.
And so, but it doesn't mean that once you hit that spot that you stop practicing them. It just means that you just feel like, okay, you've checked it out.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, by checking them off, you can see how many more you need and then focus on the areas where you need the most help.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay. Sounds good. What are you doing? Tired.
Okie dokie.